Berkshire students, staff, and families. This is Mr. Klinkskia with your Berkshire News Break for Thursday, October 8th. All right, the weather once again is a beautiful fall day for us with the highs right around 68 degrees. Hopefully no rain in the forecast, so our students participating in intramural athletics can have a great day of sports after school today. I also want to remind students, especially our 8th grade National Junior Honor Society, that there will be a certificate pickup occurring tomorrow on Friday where you'll be able to pick up your certificate for the National Junior Honor Society, and there'll also be an actual induction video, a virtual one that'll be shared with families on Friday. So stay tuned for more information about that. When you come to pick up your actual packet or your certificate, you'll be able to actually take your picture. So I want to thank Mrs. Tucker, Mrs. Luckin, and all of the staff that have made that possible for us. So today, Mr. Babcock will be joining us coming up with a character quote of the week. And today, he's going to be talking to us about the habits that we form. So students, think about the habits that we choose and how those habits help us take us towards our goal or possibly even away from our goal. So we've got to make sure we're forming good habits that really propel us towards success. So stay tuned for some more news from Mr. Babcock. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hey everyone, it's Mr. Babcock here with your second character quote for this year's announcements. If you did not get a chance to see the first one that we did a little while ago, it was a Kanye West quote, and it was, "The mirror is where I see my only enemy," and our focus was on students reflecting on themselves in order to make adjustments. Along the similar line to that is our quote from today, which is all about habits. And really what we want to make sure that we're doing is, again, being conscious of our actions, what we're doing. What I'm saying, or what I mean, if you're not sure what I mean by consciously doing that, is actually trying to think through our actions and try to make sure that we're making the right decisions and setting ourselves up for success. And when we see issues, making adjustments on those to correct them. And when we see our successes, understanding those and what's making us successful and holding on to them. That was the big focus. Today is fairly similar. What we want to talk about today are your habits. Habits are about the most important thing you can have that are going to lead you to success or lack thereof. They're the little things you do routinely that add up to something bigger, that add up to outcomes. That's what we're looking at. We want to make sure that we are aware of the habits that we have, the habits that we are developing, and we want to try and harness the power that they have. The quote for today is from Horace Mann. He said, "Habit is a cable. We weave a thread of it each day, and at last we cannot break it." What he means there is, if you look in the picture, there's some great examples to kind of make his point come to life. So we have the Golden Gate Bridge. That's a suspension bridge. You have those cables holding up that road across the bay. If you look at the picture in the bottom right, that's a cross section, or if you cut one of those big giant cables in half, that's what you would see. And what you can see is exactly what Horace Mann is saying. A cable is made by individual threads, or basically cables themselves, metal ropes that get woven together to make one big, very strong cable. And what he means by that is every day when you're doing an action, if you repeatedly do that, you're adding a new fiber or a new rope to this chain of ropes. And every day you do it, day after day, you're adding a new one, another one, and so on and so forth until that thread gets massive, just like the ones on the Golden Gate Bridge, to where they're incredibly powerful and almost impossible, if not impossible, to break. That's the power of habits. They become super strong. They become a part of what you do and really who you are. That can lead to some really positive things if we're lucky enough to develop the good ones. It can also lead to some bad things if we're unfortunate enough to where some bad ones develop and get out of control. Because of that, because they're so powerful, we want to give you the message that, again, just like the last quote, we want to make sure that we're taking ownership and reflecting on ourselves. So let's think about those habits that we're developing. Think about yourself so far in virtual learning this year. What habits have you developed? Have they helped you be successful in this environment? Have you even thought about what you're doing? I guarantee you have routines going. I guarantee you have habits. Have you stopped to evaluate them yet? I challenge you to think about what you're doing and evaluate whether they're successful or not. Start to try to break those ones that aren't helping you, and it's going to be hard. If you have heard this, if you're somebody who practices a sport or tries to get good at anything, I have heard my whole life it takes thousands of reps at something for it to just naturally happen or become muscle memory or a habit. If we have those bad habits, it's going to take a while to get rid of them, but let's try and get that new habit in its place. Let's every day try to get one of those reps under our belt and make that change. The same thing's true as we look at what we've been doing with online learning. What's helped? If you've developed a habit that's helping with this style of learning, it's going to help you for the rest of your life that you're in education. So let's try and harness those. Let's grab them. Let's add that to our habit toolbox so we know anytime we're in an educational setting, we're going to bust that habit out and make sure that it's good to go. That's what we're looking to do. As we move forward this year and we're starting to come back live, if you're one of our people that's going to come back with us when we switch in a handful of weeks to come to in-person, that is a huge opportunity habit-wise. Think about the fact that you get to start fresh. You get to start with brand new habits. You're going to start a new school year in a new environment. Let's intentionally try to develop the habits that are going to make us be more successful, and let's try and get rid of the ones and not start the ones that aren't going to help us get to where we want to be. Now, you might be asking yourself, it makes sense. Habits, they're hard to break or they're good to have depending on how you're looking at it. But give me an example of a habit in school. I've got a great one that you can challenge yourself to start doing in this remaining time we have virtual, so you can bring it if you come back in person, or if you're one of our people that are going to stay virtual, keep on using it. Here's a great one for you. Have a piece of scrap paper next to you when you're in your online classes. As teachers are talking, maybe they're lecturing, giving you some information, maybe they're giving directions on what you're going to be working on. Keep a little piece of paper there next to you so you can jot down the questions you have. If you're anything like me, which I know a lot of you are, there's probably times you don't want to interrupt a teacher. You don't want to ask a question. Maybe you just don't want to put yourself out there and show that you are confused about what's going on. We get it. A habit for you is to jot down those questions you have in the moment as it's happening on a scrap sheet of paper. And then when the teacher's done talking, maybe it's an asynchronous time, you can hit up that teacher, shoot him an email, request to talk to him on Zoom, and address the questions that you had when you really didn't want to ask them in the first place. That's a great habit you can take with you for the rest of the time that you're in school. Let's try and start that habit. And if you don't like that one, let's try and start a different one that you know is going to help you be successful. If we start to try and really intentionally build the good habits that we want, we're going to be in good shape. I want to leave you with this last picture here. These are some workers way up on top of that Golden Gate Bridge. If we're going to use this metaphor for life as the bridge and the cables are your habits, look at that Golden Gate Bridge. It's literally being held up by those cables. And that's true for life. Your habits hold you up. They let you get to where you want to go or get across that bridge. So think about it. Do you trust the habits you have? Are they helping you get to where you want to be? Would you be like these guys way up on that suspension bridge and trust your habits to not crumble underneath you? Do you know that they're strong enough and smart enough to get you to where you want to be? If not, let's intentionally try and change them. Let's develop some good habits, and let's take off for the rest of the school year. I hope everyone's doing great. If you ever, again, just like normal, you have any questions for us, you have any concerns, you need help with tech, you just need somebody to talk to, know that we are in the office. We're ready to talk to you. We're ready to help. We just want to make sure that everyone's doing great and supported. So again, feel free to reach out. Let's have a great day, everybody. Let's go get it. Take care. Have a good one.